Hey, I'm Joshua Simpson, and today I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can hack the human brain and increase the persuasive power of your copywriting. You're in organic marketing or you're in paid advertising. These 5 key cognitive biases are going to be key to improving the persuasive power of your work, and it's going to encourage them to take action and help you generate more sales. So let's get straight into it. The first one is the anchoring bias. Now, what the anchoring bias is that we tend to heavily rely on the first piece of information that we get given, and this first piece of information is usually called the anchor, and then following information is compared to that first initial piece of information, which can skew our decision making. So for example, you've got the max pack, standard pack and starter pack. Because we read from left to right, usually we're going to be first anchored to this $419 price, and then when we look at the lower packages, they're going to seem like much better deals. So if you was to do some sort of pricing similar to this, and your actual target, what you wanted them to purchase, was the standard pack or even the starter pack, you'd want to position your pricing like this. There's also another effect going on, which I'll reveal in another video. But if you look at you anchor to the 419, you look at the standard pack, it looks a lot cheaper. But then if you look at the starter pack, to get some more features, you might as well pay that extra $40. There's a certain way of pricing where you can actually make people more likely to choose the option that you want. So we've got 2 effects going on here. But let's take a look at another example. I'm sure you've seen this before price and after price. So I'm sure you've seen this before, whether you're out shopping or you're online or whatever. This is probably the most common way of anchoring price. So you'll have the was price, $34.97. And then you'll see the now price, which in comparison looks a lot lower because you're already anchored to the higher price. But there's also, within this, there's another effect going on. If you're into design or you're making changes on your website, you might want to take advantage of this. The bonus bias is called the magnitude encoding process. So if you look at the was price, the $34.97, the font is larger, it's also bold, which makes it physically larger than the now price. So you're getting a combination of 1, anchoring, and 2, the physical size is larger, so we perceive the difference in price to also be larger. So if we were to look at a copy example of how you can use anchoring in your copy, let's take a look at this copy extract that I wrote. So it only costs $34.97 to eliminate facial acne for good. An amazing deal, right? We thought so too. But we believe that you deserve to feel confident every day, and that's why we're so proud to cut the cost and offer a $7 discount for everybody that places an order today. Now you can get Bye Bye Acne for just $27.97. Not only that, your order will be shipped for free to your door within 4 days for free, and now you can save over $12 when you order today. So there's a bunch of different things going on within this extract. First, you've been anchored to the $34.97 pricing, and then you're also being anchored to a $7 discount. You find out that the pricing is, much cheaper, then you find out you're actually getting a much better discount. So we've actually anchored down and we've anchored up. So there's 2 ways that you can use this. Now, I wouldn't copy these copy extracts one for one. If you was actually going to use this in selling, you would have built up a lot more value beforehand. That's why people would be willing to agree that the $34.97 is already a great deal. If you do copy this, make sure that people are sold and absolutely convinced that the was price or the price that you're anchoring to is actually a good deal. Or just learn how to make your own copy. I will help you with that. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is called the framing effect. Now, what this essentially is that we react differently to things based on how they're presented. It changes our perception. Our perception affects our judgment and our decisions. And this occurs even when the implications of the information are the exact same as another option. It's just the way that it's presented is a little bit different. So let's take a look at an example and see how you can use it in your copywriting, marketing, or advertising. So we've got 4 examples. The first one, 89% of our reviews are 5 stars. That's fine, it's a bit of social proof. But then notice the difference with this next one. 89% of customers gave us a 5-star rating. This is slightly better because you're mentioning a group of with people, you know, customers are real people. It's a little bit more tangible than just 89% of reviews are 5 stars. But then if we were to take a look at the third example, example C, see if you notice a difference. 4,357 customers gave us a 5-star review. So I know it's not just a percentage, which isn't very tangible, but it's an actual number of people that have gave a 5-star review. So just compare example A to example C. You can see it's a lot more powerful. Now let's take a look at example D, which is going to be the best example that you can instantly implement into your copywriting. 4,357 happy mums gave us a 5-star rating. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. For one, the people that gave a rating are happy, which is kind of another indirect piece of social proof. Secondly, if you're targeting moms, then mentioning that in the social proof is going to make it a lot more relatable. It's going to make it a lot more tangible, and your marketing overall is going to feel a lot more resonant with the target audience. Here's another example of the framing effect. So you can save 25% on your energy bills, or you can save an extra $200 on your energy bills. 25% is not very tangible. $200, that sort of elicits the imagination of what you can do with an extra $200. It's a lot more impressive, but you can also reverse this as well, and we'll see shortly. So save 25% on your energy bills, or save $20 on your energy bills. The 25% is going to sound a bit more impressive because the number itself is larger, even if the 25% is the exact same as the $20. So when you're writing out, different numbers or different ways of presenting things, always think about how it's going to be perceived by the target audience. Who are you writing to? Will they resonate more with, who are they? If they're mums, say that the number of reviews are mums that have gave you 5 stars. The next cognitive bias is the negativity bias. It's the idea that things that are more negative or unpleasant, an emotion, a social interaction, some sort of event has a greater impact and an effect on somebody's emotional state and mental state than positive news, for example. That's why you'll often see probably on your social media feeds, there's a lot more negativity than there is positivity, and that's because we pay attention to negative things. And the evolutionary thought behind that is that if we pay attention to negative things, we can learn from it and try and avoid it in the future, whereas positive things, we don't need to avoid it, it's not a danger. And so with this, you're going to be taking advantage of the human need for safety. And so in the examples, you're going to see exactly how this can work. So just take a look at the difference between example A and example B. So the first one, beware of this uncomfortable truth that stops most people from having clear skin, versus did you know that this nutrient can help you have clearer skin? If people are suffering from skin ailments, they're going to be, when you see beware, it's something that you want to be cautious of, you want to be careful. And if they're having skin problems, they're not going to want to do anything that's going to exacerbate the condition. Uncomfortable truth. People kind of don't want to hear uncomfortable truths. At the same time, they do, because they know that it can be beneficial for them. So just be honest and think, which one do you think is going to generate a click, A or B? Which one's going to be more likely to generate the click? Let's take a look at another example. The sore skin, the constant inflammation, and the pain of hiding your pimples is a thing of the past with skin flow, versus get rid of acne pimples, feel beautiful and more confident with skin flow. Now, I can guarantee that example A is going to retain the attention of the reader for a lot longer than example B, not just in the length of the text. If this is just an extract of part of a longer text, people are going to be more likely to read A because they don't want to have constant inflammation, they don't want to have sore skin and things of this nature. Or think about this one. I think this one everyone can relate to, so whether or not you have bad skin, you can relate to this one. So secure your memories with reliable backup solutions. Sounds like a great idea, nothing wrong with that. Then if you compare it to B, prevent the heartbreak of losing precious photos. Now, that's going to hit a lot harder. People are going to want to avoid that pain. This is very important to remember. People would rather avoid pain than get a gain. So pain is twice as heavy as gain. People are always going to avoid pain more than they're going to try and strive for gain. Just remember that and apply it to your copywriting. And so that is the negativity bias. Remember, take advantage of negative feelings, events, situations, and use it to your advantage to sell a solution to those negative things that your target audience doesn't want. want. And personally, I found it a lot more effective within Facebook advertising. We can tell people all about the benefits, what they can get, and it's fine, it does work a little bit, but if we focus on the pain points and the pain that the audience is trying to escape first, and then we introduce the solution and the benefits, it's far more effective. So the next cognitive bias is the mere exposure effect. And this is the phenomenon where people are more likely to develop a preference and a liking with something that they're familiar with. And this can increase their belief in the idea, it can increase their liking, it can increase the likelihood that they'll actually take action on it. So if you say to somebody, shop now 1,000 times, they're probably going to be more likely to shop than if you just say it once, for example. So obviously I can't show this in copy because this is something that would happen over a longer time frame. It can happen on a short time frame, let's for example on a long form piece of copywriting, or it could happen over many years. But here are some examples for you. So seeing a particular brand's logo frequently makes you more likely to buy their products, even if you've never used them before. So I'm sure that when you think of on this video, think of a soft drink. The first one that comes to your mind is probably going to be Coca-Cola or Fanta, just because you've seen those logos so many times, even if it's something that you don't drink yourself. Or for example, hearing the same song every day, multiple times a day, the more you hear it, the more you start to like it. It becomes a bit catchy. Then you start to find yourself singing it in your head and humming it, and before you know it, the song that you didn't really like at first has become one of your favourite. But how I'd like to use this in copywriting is having a consistent message throughout the funnel. In the body text, we're going to have one specific idea that we want to convey. Within the ad itself, we're going to have a specific idea that we want to convey. It's that same idea. When people click on the ad and go to the landing page, that same idea is going to appear again. When people are, browsing through that landing page, there's going to be a few more mentions of the idea. So by the time they've got to the end of the funnel and they're ready to convert, they're right on the edge of converting, they've already got a strong belief in that one idea that we wanted to convey to them. They're going to be more likely to convert, they're going to feel great about their purchase, and you just gained yourself a customer. And so the last one, which is extremely important, it's going to help you with every area of your marketing, copywriting, advertising, is the curiosity gap. If you don't know about this, so essentially what this is that we find it hard to not think about and pay attention to things that have piqued our interest. So you want to give away just a little bit of information, but don't give away the full story, so that people sort of can't help it but take the action that's needed to go ahead through the funnel and obtain that information. So I'm sure you've seen titles like this: 10 foods you eat daily that will shorten your life, number 7 will shock you. So firstly, you're going to be curious about the 10 foods. When it says number 7 will shock you, you're going to think, why is number 7 going to shock me in particular? And so you almost just want to click here right now just so you can find that out. The secret investment billionaires are making now, what they don't want you to know. That's another one. If you're interested in investments, then you're going to probably be interested in reading more about this. So these are things that you can use in your headlines, for example. You can use in your hooks. You can use at the start of a paragraph on your long form copy. Here's one more. So skincare experts reveal the one thing you should never do before breakfast. Learn more. And so I'm sure you get the idea now. So you want to be able to take advantage of curiosity. Humans are naturally curious. If you can get them to get a little bit interested, don't give them the full story, get them to click, and then once they've clicked, you do a really good job at persuading them why your product or service is the best for them. You're going to become very successful and you'll be able to scale that up. So now you know 5 ways that you can hack the human brain using cognitive biases. All that's left to do is for you to implement these in your copywriting today, see the results, and start to improve and create your own copy that builds on these different biases. Some of them can even be combined. So I really would suggest that you practice, just do 3 practice copies of each of these cognitive biases, just so you can get used to using it. And by the time it goes into your copywriting, it's going to be a lot more effective, and you're going to have perfected that technique. So implement these techniques today. Subscribe to my channel for more marketing content. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.